Israel and the United States are fresh out of a diplomatic spat regarding the Western Wall and its connection to the Jewish state. Joining me today in the studio to discuss the issue is Dr. Mordechai Kedar, who served for 25 years in the IDF military intelligence and is an expert in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Natasha.
All right, so let's begin with this recent scuffle over the status of the Western Wall. Is this abnormal? Have previous U.S. administrations challenged Jewish sovereignty over the capital?
Well, it's not the Western Wall the problem. It's the whole Temple Mount and actually the whole Jerusalem, which was occupied by Jordan illegally, immorally, and the world doesn't know about this. Let me just tell you something. In Arabic, they say a liar should have good memory. This booklet was published in Jordan, by Jordan. It's an official guide to the West Bank and Jordan, Jerusalem. This guide has a map inside, which shows Jerusalem. It was published in 1963, 4 years before Israel liberated Jerusalem from the Jordanian occupation. Here they relate to the Temple Mount as Mount Moriah, to that extent, Mount Moriah. This is even forward, this is for 1961, another official Jordanian map, which is inside this booklet, again talks about Temple Mount as Mount Moriah. Okay?
Now tell our viewers what that means.
And now they deny the whole thing and the whole connection between Judaism and Jerusalem.
Can you tell our viewers what that means, Mount Moriah, for those of
Mount Moriah is the biblical name of the mountain, which actually they admit that this is the place of the temple, because the temple was established on the Mount Moriah, according to the Bible, according to Jewish sources and everything. So before Israel liberated Jerusalem, they had no problem to admit that the Temple Mount is a Jewish place by calling it Mount Moriah. Not only this, even the Grand Mufti, who was a big Jew hater, who took part in the extermination of the Jews of Hungary in 1944, he published in 1930 this booklet, a guide, and this is an original, a brief guide to Al-Haram and Sharif Jerusalem. He published it in 1930. In this booklet, he says clearly and explicitly about the Temple Mount. Its identity with the site of Solomon's temple is beyond dispute. This too is the spot, according to the universal belief, universal means including Islam, on which, and he quotes a verse from the Melachim, from Kings, David built there an altar unto the Lord and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. The Mufti already admits. Today they deny any connection between Judaism and the Mount. Why? They view the Israeli, as they call it, occupation of Jerusalem as some kind of returning of Judaism to life after Islam came to the world to cancel Judaism altogether.
Now we're running out of time, but I do want to ask you one question, so hopefully you can give us an answer in 1 or 2 sentences. How do you think this dispute is going to have an impact on the upcoming visit of President Donald Trump to Israel?
First of all, I'm highly afraid that the Trump administration are not aware of history, of the legal rights of the Jews of Jerusalem, and of the real issues what happened here. And if there are people in that administration who still think that the West Bank is not, or Jerusalem is not part of Israel, something is wrong in this administration.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Dr.
Thank you so
Mordechai
much.
Kedar.